this event, I'll be talking about how Indian economy's growth rate has happened. I think this is surprising to many actually. Why 7.8 in midst of that kind of crisis that world is facing? So I think I'll try to decipher that growth rate. Also answering two things which many people are asking throughout the world. One is, does this growth hides the weaknesses of Indian economy? And secondly, does this growth basically implies that resilience of Indian economy? I think these two areas I'll be talking about. So let's begin with the dissecting the growth story. 7.8% is something not very surprising to my opinion, because many organizations who are specialized in making forecasts like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and many other civil society organizations, think tank, were expecting Indian economy to grow around 6%, 6.5%, but nobody has anticipated 7.8%. Why this has happened? I think we need to look at that sector-wise analysis of the growth story. Then you come to know that major sectors like manufacturing, retail, transportation, hotels, restaurant, even the basically what we call wholesales, all these sectors have grown at a double-digit growth rate. So that basically communicates that they are inherent strengths of the Indian economy. And then agriculture sector is always has a vicissitude of weather conditions. So its growth rate has plummeted down from last year. Last year it was 4.5%, this year it is 3.5%. But I think even 3.5% for agriculture sector, I would not say it's bad growth performance. So we have managed decent growth, or rather very high growth performance in this particular era. Look at what happened to countries like China. China, a big economy, which we call the center of manufacturing sector in the world, has grown only at the 5% rate. Indian economy 7.8 is actually almost 40 times higher than the growth rate of China. We don't have the figures available for Brazil and Russia, but I don't think they'll be much near to this number 7.8. So I think India is going to lead the world in the growth rate in this particular fiscal year. Another thing that basically is very, very important for us to know is what drives the Indian economy? What is the reason behind this? So when the issue comes that does the growth hides inherent weaknesses of Indian economy? I would say yes, it definitely hides some of the weaknesses, but a growth always highlights the strengths of an economy. You can't grow without strengths. So it highlights more strengths of the Indian economy. And what are they? Let me provide the detail about you. India has a very high foreign exchange rate reserves, very comfortable foreign exchange reserves, which has allowed India to keep inflation below actually general level, which expected level, by actually buying things from abroad or creating buffer stock of petrol, buffer stock of other supplies. Even in the time when the world was facing crisis, India managed all these crises, managed the supply through its very good foreign exchange reserves. It's going down, definitely, but it has a very high. It has allowed India to actually remain immune to the crisis that happened. So it has inoculated the crisis. Second thing that has happened is the policy response of the government has provided the buffer to the crisis. The government of India has always reacted very timely and in a very controlled manner. It never overreacted. It never over-created policies to maintain that. Very dignified manner, a very what you call comfortable level government managed this supply. So that was something very good about. You respond to the level which is actually required, not more, not less. Third thing very good about the Indian economy that actually is the inherent demand that generated by the large middle class of India. Indian middle class, if you compare from the global standard, it's actually lower income group. But this middle class of India is substantially spending a lot on different things. They are traveling a lot, they are consuming a lot, they are buying electronic products, they are buying cars, you name it, and the Indian middle class is actually, so they have a very aspirational middle class. And this aspirational middle class is the inherent strength of Indian economy. Forget about the middle class. Even at the lower class, the people have a very dynamic optimism about Indian economy. Even in this crisis time, I never saw anybody talking very pessimistically about Indian economy. They say these are crises which happens and we have overcome. So this whole idea, this value of overcoming, the idea that we'll overcome the crisis, hum honge kamyab, that's something defines Indians. I think that has defined India significantly in the last 1 year. Another thing, India's, now this is very political aspect of it, that how the political economy determine the course of economic development. Indian economy has maintained a very interesting neutrality in the whole affair of the global politics. India never sided with anyone too much, never opposed anyone too much, and it only looked for its own self-interest. So what is more important is your own self-interest. If a country is able to manage its own self-interest, I think that's where the success of the growth story begins. We create right institutions, innovations. Many people say that Indian don't innovate. You look at how India allows innovations. Indian people are like the consumers of their own nature, which nobody on the earth can define Indian consumerism. They want everything in their taste and preferences. So there's a value addition to everything that Indian consumer consumes. So whenever foreign company comes and invests in India, they look for what exactly Indian consumer want, and they innovate their product to fit the needs of Indian consumerism. That basically is the kind of thing which never happened across the world. So I think this is, and there are sometimes people say that Indian tourists are going abroad and dancing and all this thing happening. This dancing of Indian tourists in different places is the inherent the confidence of Indian consumers or Indian people, that they are in the bad time they are still able to enjoy. I think that is nothing mean thing to be actually. So I think these are the inherent things which define Indianness and Indian growth story. Thank you, friends. I think I would like you to subscribe my channel. If you like it, please subscribe, wholeheartedly support me. I'll come out with more interesting discussions. If you have anything more to suggest, please let me know. I'll take into account and I'll get back to you on those topics. Thank you very much.